45 minutes plus 10, the number of minutes. You are now somewhat crazy like what is about to happen in the last few seconds of the first half, the match between Al-Fia and Nasser. Cristiano Ronaldo stood on the penalty kick on the fence at the spur that fell about 20 m back. Unlike always, the 39-year-old legend does not pose for brand momentum. With wide roasted legs and a focused gaze, CR7 stood extremely close to the ball this time, and he also looked very comfortable when his hands were propped up to observe the opponent's mouth. Soon after, a heartbreak was created by Ronaldo. Although the ball speed is not high, the hoop is so perfect that it makes goalkeeper Ndaki throw his body as hard as he can, only serve as a background for the masterpiece. The goal must be called 10 points for quality from Nasser's captain. Ronaldo continues to make the grave warmer break with emotions. The stadium at Fars King Abdullah Stadium today has inadvertently become a place to witness the excellence of the owner of the year of the Ballon d'Or. There is a great legend and a timeless special old record. From the beginning of the first match, Al Far, although they had the home advantage, did not seem to be able to help them get anything from Al Nassr, simply because Ronaldo brained the opponent to get comfortable. Otavio's transmission to Talisca didn't even have time to notice, but Ronaldo could still see his teammates' intentions. In a position with their backs to Enfia's goal, CR7 made the correct choice that England would make a short pass based on Talisca's escape from the offside trap in the penalty area. The Brazilian striker finally did not disappoint the senior when he finished the goal in the 5th minute, and Ronaldo gave up an easy assist. Looking at the goal from the situation of banging on his house, fans will see that Ronaldo's statement that Al Nassr is playing more and more united football is completely true. The Portuguese legend used to be able to fight independently when receiving the ball in the 16m50 area. However, the lesson scheme understands that his current version must be more or less disruptive because of his age, putting his teammates in a shining position, because it is the field that becomes the one who is praised. Early to have a goal ahead of Al Nassr played confidently on the away floor, but his teammate Luis Gacho did not forget that there were many previous matches because of sleeping on the battlefield where his army had to suffer bitter defeats. The task of Ronaldo and his teammates is to try to press the opponent and avoid making mistakes for the horse. And Faja was too weak when there was no way to stop the damage from Al Nassr's stir-fry. They held on until the injury time, when the first was due to surrendering to Ronaldo's free throw. Up to now, the 1985 Super Far car has had 53 goals from free kicks for 5 different teams that he has been competing. Converted according to a career lasting 22 years, Ronaldo achieved a rate of 2.4 penalties per year. This number does not take into account the times when Ronaldo scored from the fixed point outside the box during the national provincial team season. If there is no data, it is also more than 60 copies. At his peak, Ronaldo always made his opponent worried every time he stepped on the penalty spot. The counter finishes with strong force and unpredictable direction brought CR7 many beautiful victories. Although the knee problem since 2014 has inadvertently affected the penalty somewhat, the 7th car is still trusted by the coach and teammates because the mentality around him is stronger than anyone on the floor. And indeed, scoring a free-kick goal in football is not a simple feat. It takes time and effort to develop offensive techniques, position the body properly, and defeat the opponent's defenders and goalkeepers. And when fans watch the top players step up to the ball and take a successful free kick into the net, they are seeing the end result of hours of work. The artifact that Ronaldo has just scored against the enemy has shattered all doubts that he will never have another free kick into the goal. In just one half, Ronaldo got a goal, an assist, a really impressive statistic for the 39-year-old sage. It is still unfortunate that Al Nassr's captain missed 10-10 in the second half, but no one will have the right to blame for the great contribution that Ronaldo brought to the team. Last month, Enfiha raised the total number of career goals scored by the owner of the Golden Ball to 899, the highest in Europe at the moment. In which, there are 130 copies for the team of the Ministry of Digging and 769 for the level of the Ministry of Establishment. If you don't follow the second round after the Deep Pro League Live, it will be difficult for the fans to understand that it was Ronaldo who refused to reach the 900-goal milestone after he continued to score points in the eyes of Al Nassr fans. Also in the injury time, Only the difference was that it took place at the end of the half, and Fiha continued to commit a foul close to the box for referee and Samrani to ask Al Nassr to take a free kick. As soon as everyone thought of the familiar image that Rondo would perform another monk. But no, he showed that this time he made all the offside parts full. Cristiano Ronaldo entrusted the important task to Talisca. Even the 39-year-old legend did not stand on the penalty kick. Instead, he went straight into the box to wait for a header. Once again, Talisca received a favor from Ronaldo, and the left leg of the Brazilian pioneer João was extremely valuable. But also starting from the goal of his teammates, Ronaldo only had the common joy of the team, and did not bring his 900 goals. No matter what kind of contestant the first 7 will be able to break this statistic in the next matches. Most importantly now, Ronaldo has brought confidence to the Al Nassr team, which has been priced out of poor results in the early stages of the season. After 900 wins, maybe 1,000 and more until the day the 39-year-old legend retires from the field. No one can guess the timing of that storm because Ronaldo himself recently confirmed that he also does not know the exact date of retirement, and wishes to continue his career until when possible. And there is nothing to worry about because Al Nassr's old general has more than enough to continue to enjoy the fun and play football for at least a few more years. After closing Chimichurri unfair, Ronaldo had his 3rd consecutive match, retiring completely including injury time. Except for the defenders and the old goalkeeper, no one in Al Nassr has achieved terrible competition frequency. Thus, Hung Chi is their captain who is the oldest. Admiration for Ronaldo's extraordinary physicality, as well as the way he scored 4 goals in 4 consecutive matches. Last season, the 1985 Senna star won the title of runner-up after going to the Pro League with 35 goals in 31 games. And now, Ronaldo is still at the top of the list of 2024 to 2025 disciples, because in addition to 2 versions after the last 2 matches, CR7 also has 1 more assist to appreciate more than Mitrovic and other opponents. But the most important thing is still to need Al Nassr to ensure that first there is nothing but victories. To make Al Hilal a former king, Ronaldo and his teammates must maintain faith in signing first without falling down for too long. As against Al Fiha, after leading 3-0, coach Luis Cacho's enemy continued to take charge for the opponent to regain an honorary table. This should not happen because Al Nassr's next opponent to face is only a serious candidate for another rivalry program called Al Ahly. At all costs, Ronaldo and his teammates must win when they return home in the next match, because if they want to separate the top from the beginning of the season, this is the only way. Hila would do the same thing until he got bored with Al Nassr. This has caused pain to Ronaldo every season. Steady wins are giving CR7 teammates confidence because the head is too classy to aim for the whole journey. And on top of that, Ronaldo will say no to 2 words until he earns a noble title for Al Nassr. Let's wait and see the 39-year-old legend continue to write the story of extraordinary efforts in the Middle East.